right, so we went through on how to distribute when we have a sum inside parentheses. Now, why in the heck would we care about this? That is the biggest question. Why would we care? Why would we want to do this? Well, we want to do this when we don't have a calculator because it helps us do this awkward multiplication a lot faster. Now, those of you that, I don't know if I shared this with you, but I worked at a local gas station for almost 15 years while I was in college, and even when I was a full-time teacher, Beaudry's, right up at the corner up here in town, and I was always able, I had gas coupons all the time, okay? I was always able to be able to figure out my customers' discounts quicker than any of my colleagues could punch it in their calculator. Not because I'm a math teacher and I'm just really good at math. It's because I used the distributive property. So let's say when we look at this first example, 7 times 23, let's pretend a customer got 23 gallons of gas and they got 7 cents off a gallon. I'd be able to quickly in my head, they'd get $1.61 off. I can do that really quick in my head. I know they get $1.61 off. How did I do that? I will show you. What you want to do is break your number into place values. Okay? For example, 23 is really 20 plus 3. Do you see that? So I'm breaking it in, because you can multiply by 10 or 100 super fast, can't you? You just add the 0. And then most of our multiplication facts without ones is pretty fast. Or I could make 253 would be 200 plus 50 plus 3. Now I don't do this too much. Obviously I didn't do this when I did that quick fact, but that's really what I'm doing. This 2 is not a 2. This 2 is a 20. This 2 is not a 2. It's 200. This 5 is not a 5. It's a 50. This 3 is a 3. Okay? This 3 is also a 3. And then what I do is I distribute, not multiply. It's going to come up as a M. Then I distribute. Can you please write down? Then, there, I did it. Then I distribute. So let me show you an example. Again, I did this really fast in my head, didn't I? Well, what I did is I distributed my 7 to both place values. So 7, is that 2 really a 2, yes or no?
No.
What is that 2? 20. So it's 7 times 20 plus 7 times 3. 7 times 20 is 140 plus 7 times 3 is 21. 161. Now I put the decimal there only because I was talking about a random instance with money. If they got 23 gallons of gas, 7 cents off a gallon. But your real answer would be 161. Okay, the next one. 6 times 47. I have no idea what 6 times 47 is, but I can do it using distributive property, breaking it up into its place values. 6, what is this for?
40.
40. So I would go 6 times 40, 240, plus 6 times 7, 42. 240 plus 42, 282. So you can use the distributive property to multiply quickly a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number. Okay? And again, I use this all the time. Okay, I can't pause this, so we're going to move on because I pause and it breaks. So we're going to move on to using the distributive property backwards. So we can use the distributive property backwards when we see that we have something shared. So I want you to box off shared. So box off shared. So when I look at this first example, I see 9 times 5 plus 9 times 2. What's shared? What number do they have shared? Look at them both. What numbers do I have shared? 9. So I pull that 9 out, and then I write what's left. A 5, a plus, not the 9, because I pulled the 9 out, and a 2. So it's really 9 times 7, 63. This will help us as well. It's working backwards, because 45 plus 18 I can't do fast. You could go 9 times 5, 45, 9 times 2, 18, but I can't do that fast. It's actually faster to pull that 9 out. This one, what number is shared? 6. So pull that 6 out. 6, and then write everything that's left inside. I have an 8, I have a plus, I have a 2. 6 times 10, 60. So, let me just recap everything we've done. We showed that to distribute, you multiply both things inside that parenthesis nest, right? It's like that mama bird. If I had 3 parentheses x plus 2, 3 needs to go to the x, 3 needs to go to the 2. You distribute by multiplying. Then we learned the reason we distribute is to be able to do some multi-digit multiplication quicker. Like 23 times 7, we can just break that into its place values. It's really 7 times 20, 140, plus 7 times 3, 21. We get 161. And then we get the algebraic examples. This is the one that's going to help us the most with the rest of our 7th grade year, 8th grade year, 9th grade year, all throughout high school. So algebraic examples, you want to remember to only combine like terms. So you can't combine things together unless they both have a variable. Okay, so this first one, I'm going to distribute my 7, and 7 goes to the x and the 5. And you distribute by multiplying. So 7 times x, 7x, minus 7 times 5, 35. That's right. So this is what the answer would be. Because you can't connect them. 35 doesn't have an x. So in Schoology, this is the tricky part. Schoology, it's a little picky. So Schoology, I want you to do no spaces when you type this in. I want you to just write 7x, the minus sign, 35. Okay, Schoology will take that, or if you like spaces, if that stresses you out, you feel like you need, you have to have 2. You would have to have 7x space minus space 35. So you have no space or 2 space. Schoology will count you wrong if you have 1 space. Okay? So now the next one, I'm going to distribute my 7 to 2x plus 1. 7 times 2, 14, throw the x on the side, plus 7 times 1, 7. That's what you would type into Schoology. 14x plus 7. Okay, what number am I going to distribute on that last one? 3. Yep, it's just backwards. So 3 times x, 3x, plus 3 times 4, 12. And some of you, just in case you're wondering where the heck these numbers are coming from, I will show that first step. You don't have to include that on your work slip, but when you distribute, you multiply.